My film will be focused on those living in unconventional dwellings in and around Bristol today. For the purpose of my film, I will be focused on those living in vehicles such as vans, caravans and houseboats. I hope to uncover why individuals have adopted this lifestyle, whether it be by choice or necessity. In doing so, I will explore whether these individuals have adopted this way of living as a lifestyle choice, either as a form of resistance against society's norms and values, or as an economic choice, as a means of saving money, or as a method of getting value for money out of a set budget. Alternatively, I will explore whether individuals have been forced to adopt the lifestyle as a result of economic hardship, making it the only alternative to life on the street. In doing so, I will discuss the field of hidden homelessness and suggest this lifestyle is a symptom of the housing crisis in Bristol today. I will use Weber's theory of rational action as a means of understanding why the lifestyle has been adopted, in which he explains instrumental rational action as being based upon cost benefits and goal orientated, in comparison to value rational action, which shows commitment to a certain value. I will also use Bauman's theory of vagabonds and tourists as a tool for understanding the social identity of those living in unconventional dwellings. Bauman's theory identifies the tourist as someone who is seeking new experiences in new places yet returning home after each adventure, whereas vagabonds are wanderers with no home. As well as using these theories, I will provide a context discussing the housing crisis in Bristol today, in which there is a lack of affordable housing, as well as exploring the political climate, drawing upon similarities of the late 70s and early 80s in which the New Age traveller movement took place. I propose that the New Age traveller movement may be useful in deciphering the meaning and significance of those living in unconventional dwellings, questioning whether this phenomenon can be described as an emerging subculture and resistance to the neoliberalist values of today's leaders. The film will be based around snippets of between 4 to 6 recorded interviews of those living in unconventional dwellings. I will also include photos of the dwellings with my narration recorded over them. This will make the film visually appealing and engaging. I will be using semi-structured interviews. This will allow interviewees to elaborate on their experiences, providing me with rich qualitative data. As well as this, semi-structured interviews will allow me to stay on topic, enabling me to gather the relevant data. My film bears the most resemblance to an expository model as a result of it being largely based around interviews in which I interact with social actors who convey their personal experiences and motivations behind adopting this lifestyle, thus allowing me to expose the topic of unconventional dwellings. I hope to portray the interviewees' individual responses in a genuine manner, therefore I will keep interview footage relatively unedited, however will use a shallow depth of field, ensuring the camera focuses on the interviewee in the foreground with the background being partially out of focus. This will allow viewers to engage with the participants' responses. I will also photograph a wide range of unconventional dwellings. This will provide a thought-provoking element, allowing a lengthy examination of the dwellings and their surroundings. As well as this, photographs will allow viewers to gauge the prevalence of this phenomenon in Bristol today, where rows of living vehicles can be seen in certain areas of the city. When photographing the dwellings, I will use a deep depth of field to allow the whole image as well as the surrounding environment to be examined. I will also vary the exposure of the images depending on the dwelling. For example, if the dwelling is a small caravan on the side of a motorway, I will reduce the exposure, where if this is a large modern houseboat in a harbour, I will increase the exposure. This use of exposure will enhance the stark contrast between these unconventional dwellings, with some being relatively desirable, while others, it seems, would only be used as a last resort. This will subsequently allow viewers to consider the motivations behind adopting the lifestyle, whether it be by voluntary or involuntary. By using both a combination of interviews with real-life perspectives along with photographs, I will be able to accurately portray the phenomenon. This enables me to avoid the lifestyle being misleadingly portrayed, such as being romanticised or stigmatised. Hetherington arguably romanticised the New Age traveller movement, in which he implied travellers to be middle-class dropouts, when instead many resorted to the lifestyle as a result of the decline in housing and high unemployment at the time. I hope to avoid such misconceptions and bias. The layout of my film will go as follows. First, I will begin with the context, explaining the housing crisis and gentrification in Bristol. I will then move on to my interview clips, inferring information between each in the form of an image with my narration over. Finally, I will conclude my findings. I take influence in documentaries which seek to explore day-to-day activities which frequently go unnoticed by the public in an investigative manner in order to uncover the truth. Channel 4's Dispatch is one example of this, in which the documentaries seek to speak to those directly affected, creating an emotive and thought-provoking viewing. This documentary will explore personal aspects of these individuals' lives, such as social and individual identity, as well as their economic situations. Due to these potentially sensitive topics being discussed, I will conduct the interviews in a private space at UE. This will ensure that the interview is uninterrupted and provides a neutral environment. Ultimately, this short film aims to understand why individuals have adopted the lifestyle of living in unconventional dwellings in Bristol today. I hope that this will allow viewers to better understand the consequences of Bristol's housing crisis, as well as questioning the stigmatisation of individuals living this way.